today?
Yeah, we totally get
Yeah,
away with
no,
this.
yeah. What time did you jump Kevin at?
Don't worry about it. Hey, Carl. How's it going?
Hey guys,
Hey.
how's it going?
Good to meet you. Have you ever seen the show before?
I haven't.
All right, I'm Edward. This is Kevin.
Okay.
Hey,
Nice to meet you,
Thanks
Kevin.
for coming in today.
Edward, good to meet you.
Pleasure. Grab a seat. We'll start this interview off.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Perfect.
Move over. Yep, click.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
There we go.
So
Nice and tight.
This is the PRFC fan show. It's a fan show by fans.
For fans. I'm Kevin,
I'm Edward.
and this is our boy.
This is
Steve
Carl
Woz.
Woszczynski.
Everybody
Believe
knows
it?
this guy, yeah. So I guess we'll get it started. So how did you get so good at football? Did you just always been good?
Were
or
you
did
like
get
born
good?
like that, or did?
Yeah, you know, Indiana's not, you know, exactly a football hotbed, but, you know, worked hard at it, and it came along.
Right.
Right.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
You ask me a question. You're in question.
You like movies?
Yeah.
What kind of movies do you like?
You know, it kind of depends what mood I'm in, you know?
Well, did you watch like horror movies?
I've seen a few.
I've
Yeah.
got a bunch of them. If you wanna, we've got a TV and everything. If you wanna come over and watch them.
Yeah, we got a bunch,
Like-
bunch of movies at our house if you want to come hang out.
Like, to your guys' house? Go watch
Yeah,
them?
we got movies at our house. It's pretty cool.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about
Okay,
it. You know?
that's a maybe.
Fair enough.
That's a maybe.
Might be able to
so-
carve some time out.
So there's been a big debate within the PRFC fan show community on Twitter, and the fans really just need to know: are you pro or anti Dave Matthews Band?
Okay, what in the heck is going on here? Why are you guys talking to Carl? Why are you doing this? You told me to come here at 1:30. I'm on time and you guys have started? Carl, I'm sorry.
Wait, you're Kevin?
I'm Kevin.
Who are you guys?
I'm actually.
Kevin.
You told me you were me?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Go behind the camera.
All right.
Get the heck out of here.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, I can sign this for you.
You know, Dan, this is not a signature thing, okay?
I'll sign it.
Just the one thing. Just the one thing. I promise.
Yeah, okay, let's get rid of this stool because, Carl, I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what these
So
two.
who are those guys?
Well, they're my camera guys and my video editing guys, and they're usually good guys, but they're big fans of yours, and I
Okay.
think they just got a little
Interesting.
carried away, shall we say. So why don't we get this started for real?
All right.
First of all, we'll check, we okay in frame? Okay. First of all, Carl, thank you for being on the show. I've wanted to have you on the show for a long time.
Yeah.
The first time we ever had an interaction, you scowled at me and I thought I was going to have a heart attack and die.
Did I really?
Yeah, we did. And it was my fault too. You were warming up before the Mobile Cup game last year, and they were kicking the ball, and I walked by and I was like, "Hey, Woz, we'd love to have you on the show." And you just turned like, "What the heck are you doing, man? I'm warming up here." And I was like, "Okay, that was deserved."
Okay.
So I'm glad that I was able to not get beat up by you, and we're here now.
Yeah, I like to think I'm pretty personable, but yeah, maybe the wrong time.
No, it is definitely the wrong time. So yeah, you grew up in Indiana, and you started playing soccer in high school as a keeper. Have you always wanted to be a keeper, or were there other positions that you wanted to play?
So starting playing soccer, I was probably 4 years old. A long time ago. Never was a goalkeeper at the start. Kind of played central midfield and a little bit of left back up until 10, 11, 12 or so. And then, back in the day, practice, people would jump in goal before or after, and everybody's in a line shooting. And I'd always jump in goal, and my parents would yell at me, "Get out of there, you don't want to be in there, get out of there." And I always just gravitated to hopping in goal and letting people shoot on me. So I think kind of grew from that. And then, probably since 12, 13 years old, I only played goalkeeper, right?
Wow. It's like a catcher in baseball, right? You just got to have that mindset and that capacity. I'm bat blind and I run away from the ball, so it doesn't work.
A little bit of craziness involved.
You went to University of Alabama, Birmingham. I'm a UGA fan, by the way, just to keep things straight. You had great success there. A couple of awards. You were the #1 holder for number of saves on average for a season, I think it was. Just great success there. Was there anything you want to say about your university years?
I absolutely love my time there. People are kind of surprised. Everybody that goes, all the players that go there, absolutely love it. And back then, Birmingham's come a long way since then. But back then, it wasn't really the nicest place to be. There's some sketchy areas. But I think any city's like that. Campus is kind of right in downtown, so it's not really a campus feel. But the camaraderie we had to the team. Our coach there, Mike Getman, was absolutely incredible, you know, bringing all the guys together. So it was awesome, you know, and I think it really, you know, got me to this professional level.
You know, I heard they got indoor plumbing a couple years ago.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah. I think they've got a little green in the campus now too. They laid some grass down.
There you go. Now take me through the rest. I know you had a stint in Atlanta and then a near miss with an MLS team. Would love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, so got drafted out of college. Got drafted by the Fire, which, you know, growing up in Indianapolis or just south Indianapolis, grew up a huge Fire fan. You know, most of my family's all in Chicago. All my dad's side of the Polish family's all in Chicago. So growing up watching the Fire play all the time, going up to games, you know, seeing some of those old legends they had, you know, Peter Novak, Lubos Kubek, used to be all European guys, you know, for the Fire. So we grew up loving them. So getting drafted by them, like I said, was a dream come true. Went into preseason camp with them. Ended up getting released after, I don't know, a month or so. You know, just didn't make the cut. You know, obviously it's a huge jump from the college professional level. I think now, you know, a lot of guys have the opportunity to train with professional teams, you know, before being a professional.
It's a whole different world already, and it's only, what, 7 years or 10 years since then?
Yeah, it's my 8th professional season. So in 8 years, you know, obviously there's the academies now, and those guys get called up. So for me, that was my first time ever training with a professional team, and when I was trying to make the professional team, so it was tough. Got released, ended up right away getting called into the Columbus Crew, who had a goalkeeper injured at the time, and spent probably 2-3 months there as kind of just an emergency backup keeper, getting paid, but just to train, knowing you're just going to train. When they didn't need me anymore, I ended up signing for the LA Blues in the USL, which was June-ish of my rookie year. And back then the USL was 6 months long. You know, it was kind of April to August. So signing at the end of June really gave me a month, you know, a month and a half in my rookie year, which I was able to go and get, you know, a few games, handful of games, which was great. But you know, that year was, you know, tough, tons of ups and downs, and
well, and a tough team to play with. I mean, the team itself had ups and downs, both from a front office and a player perspective. Yeah,
exactly. You know, you don't really realize the jump you're getting into turning professional. You know how hard it is. You know, like you said, you've been the star your whole life. You know, going through high school, through college, getting drafted. You know, everything's good. And then you take that huge knock. You know, when you get released. You know, when you don't make your first professional team. And I've seen so many players, you know, give up after that. You know, after, you know, good players that could have easily been professional players that it wasn't the right fit for them. They're told that they're not wanted there, and they're okay, I'm over it. You know, so for me, it was never going to be the case. You know, I wanted to keep grinding and, you know, find a home and, you know, make a professional career for myself.
You had a couple of other stops, but let's fast forward to coming to Arizona United. Were you on the first Arizona United team?
I was not. So they had, what, the Wolves in 2013. Arizona United was 2014 when I was in Orlando.
That's right. So you're in Orlando. They went to the MLS and they cut a bunch of players because of the MLS.
Yeah, I think we kept, after that season, they had a couple signed already, but I think after the season they kept maybe one more guy or two guys in the whole team who absolutely dominated the USL. So that's another, you know, tough one. You know.
There's the irony. Now we're just bringing MLS players down like crazy. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So then 2015 would have been Arizona United's second season, which is when I signed here.
And that was out in Peoria?
That was Scottsdale Stadium.
Scottsdale Stadium.
Yeah, in 2016 we moved out to Peoria.
Okay.
Which was tough. 2015 at Scottsdale Stadium wasn't bad. You know, it was obviously a great area. It's a baseball field, but they completely, you know, changed the whole thing over. Giants ownership was very involved with it. You know, checked in on, you know, their grounds crew and everything, and made it a nice home for us. Yeah,
and great experience. Some, you know, Red Fury and everybody being out there, and very, very small club. I wasn't there, unfortunately. Didn't even know you guys existed. I would have been all over there. But from what I understand, just a terrific atmosphere and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, who brought you to Arizona United?
Michael Del Russo.
Okay.
Our old head coach brought me in. I think he kind of knew my agent a little bit and then knew the people down in Orlando. So when Orlando put the press release out of all the people that weren't going to make the MLS jump to him, I think he called me within hours. Said he already called Adrian Heath, our coach there, who, you know, highly recommended me. And then from there, we moved pretty quickly. My wife was out working in LA. She's worked in fashion for a number of years now. And so there was obviously, I had other offers, but moving that close to LA, being closer to her, we were engaged at the time, not married, was, you know, ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a keeper. I mean,
Yeah.
she's great. We're going to talk about her on Twitter in a little bit. So you're here in Arizona. You're playing with Phoenix Rising. You're 31 now. You just turned 31.
30.
Or 30. You turned 31 this month.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to make a
That's all right. That's all right. I'm almost there.
So, and I'm getting hand signals from Static Dan back here because you guys have the same birthday, and for some reason he thinks that's
crazy.
Yeah, it does not make you a superstar. I'm sorry. Seriously, that's all he talks about. Every show when we're getting ready. Did you know that Carl and I have the same birthday? Yeah, Dan, 100 times now. It's ridiculous.
The other wild one is my wife's dad's birthday is the same as mine.
Oh wow! So now you have to split birthday parties.
Yeah.
Or actually,
at least you didn't forget about it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you know, so you're 30, about to turn 31. Some footy players start looking at, okay, I'm going to start transitioning towards the end of your career. But you are one of the exceptions because you're in great form. You are fit. You are still one of the most consistent save of the week goals in the USL. You are playing, I'm going to guess, some of the best ball in your career. I can see you being out there for another 3 to 5 years. Do you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've talked about it, obviously talked about it with my wife a lot, and I've got no, you know, desire to stop playing right now. Like you said, you know, last year, you know, was able to stay healthy through the whole year, had a very good year, and then this year, kind of, you know, hopefully the same thing. You realize as you get older, you got to take a lot better care of yourself. So really going into last year, my focus was, you know, eating better, you know, really getting into training early, staying late, taking that time to realize I'm not a 21-year-old anymore, you know. Recovery time's that much longer. Yep, exactly. You know, when you walked in today, take my 10-minute ice bath after training every day. There you go. Man, that's something I don't envy too. That's just, and he was sitting there so calm, and I would have been like a little girl crying. So let's fast forward, and you decide, okay, I'm done playing on the pitch. What is the next step for you? Do you see yourself staying with the club and doing something with the club? Yeah, I kind of go back and forth with it. So I have a mechanical engineering degree. Oh, cool. With a business administration minor from UAB. So obviously I could have, you know, a decent job with that degree and path, which is what my father did his whole life and just recently retired. And it's still, you know, is exciting for me, but you know, the longer you play, I think kind of the harder the transition it would be to, you know, work a normal 9 to 5 and transition into that life. So I've always, you know, said, you know, this is home to us now. You know, we love it here. I've loved this club. You know, I've seen it grow from, you know, like we said, traveling around different baseball stadiums trying to play to building our own, you know, home here, and then hopefully even more. So, you know, I've definitely left it open and talked to the staff about, you know, having some sort of, you know, front office role or, you know, something with the club, you know, moving forward, you know, in hopes that as they move to MLS, you know, they need to hire more people and, you know, have more people that, you know, have been around the club and want to carry that tradition on. So it's definitely a thought of mine. Well, that's great. I mean, you've got 2 degrees under your belt. You know, you're prepared to hit the world any way you want to. Options are always great, right? Yeah, so, I mean, not all players do that, obviously. And when the career's over, they're just kind of like, what am I going to do? You know, it's interesting because given where you are in life, we've been able to watch you transition on the personal side too. You share stuff on Twitter. You bought a house last year. Samantha is, I mean, probably the most stalwart, supportive a player I've seen in the USL, right? She's funny. I mean, from the birthday cakes to just, you know, 1000% behind you when you were in Louisville. Do you feel like you're setting up roots here in Phoenix? I definitely think so. At least short term-ish. You know, like I said, we bought a house, so we always said when we bought a house we were going to plan to be here for at least the next 5 or so years. after that, it's really hard to plan, you know, especially this life we live. Obviously, before that, I've been here for, this is my 5th season now. If we would have known that, we'd have bought a house 5 years ago and paid a lot less and be able to sell it for a lot more. But yeah, we absolutely love it here. You know, I think every year we're here, we enjoy it even more and realize how great it is. You know, now that my parents have retired, they travel here and tell us how amazing it is. You know, come from Indiana, and they came out in the winter and it was negative 50 degrees wind chills in Indiana.
Yeah.
And then Sam's parents come visit, tell us, you know, how great it is. So I think the grass is always greener, right? But
sure.
then when you look at it, you realize, you know, we're in Scottsdale. I think it's one of the best cities, you know, in the country that I've ever been to. You know, there's food, every concert comes here, sporting events, all that stuff. So yeah, we love it and don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Perfect. Is Samantha pursuing her career in fashion here in Phoenix?
Yeah, so started 2017, she actually started her own business.
Oh, great.
It's called the Mayfair Group. So it's kind of an all-inclusive fashion brand. So what she noticed working for other fashion brands was they outsource everything. So they'd outsource, you know, sales to one company, outsource public relations to one company, outsource, you know, social media and creative content to another company, and they didn't work together at all. So it was kind of hard to get them all on the same page. So she started this company that they have everything in-house. So they've got sales in-house, they've got PR in-house, they've got social media in-house. So a brand will sign with her and she'll handle, you know, everything from their sales to gifting celebrities to their social media, Instagram accounts, all under one roof. And it's grown, you know, amazingly since she started it in 2017. So when she started it, she was working out of our guest bedroom in our apartment with one other girl. And now they've got an office down in Old Town, about 2,000 square feet. She's got 5 full-time employees, a couple part-time employees, and like 10 interns working for her. So
Dude, you can retire from soccer and just go sit by a pool for the rest of your life.
I'm the chief financial officer of the company.
There you go.
So I handle all the, so kind of like I said with the engineering degree, I love numbers, you know, and I always like doing something other than just playing soccer because, you know, you play and then you go sit at home for hours, and I'm not really a video gamer or anything like that. So I'll handle all the, you know, invoices and income expenses for the company. So it's been fun for me.
That's great. So
yeah, it's been cool.
You always talk to people and say, well, your significant other, you know, what kind of sacrifices do they have to make because of the professional career? Sounds like she's just living her life and handling things, and that's what, I mean, you've got to be huge. Obviously you're very proud of what she's doing. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, she's a very independent person, and I help however I can.
I have a related question from 11 Rising. I think you know JP.
Yep.
He said, you know, Carl's into fashion big time. Now we know why.
I have to be.
Yeah. You want to know what your favorite sneaker is?
Favorite sneaker? I've always liked, so ever since back in the day, I've liked Air Force Ones.
Okay.
Old, you know, kind of old school, but they've kind of kept the same pattern through. I think they started in 1982.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They've kept the same silhouette, but you can find all different nicer ones, you know, more sporty ones, casual ones. So I think that's probably one of my favorite all time.
Yeah, I love Air Force One. It's one of those shoes I can't wear. I'm too damn old.
Yeah.
I look like I'm trying too hard, but you know, they're great shoes.
Yeah.
Now I have a couple of things from fans. We always ask fans about some questions. I think we know the answer to this question, but what professional footy teams do you follow?
Manchester United is my favorite EPL, so I'll go with them.
Yeah, Michael Vanderplas asked that, and I knew he was just setting you up.
Yeah.
But he did follow up to ask you, who's your all-time favorite player?
For United?
For United, yeah.
That's a tough one. So, kind of cool backstory. Do we have time?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
do we have time? We have time.
We got time? All right, perfect. So my mom's mom was born in England.
Okay.
It's like a kind of twisty, but her best friend's nephew was Ryan Giggs.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I got into being a United fan way back when I was a kid. So I think he was probably the first United player I ever really liked or appreciated, and started following them the year before they won the treble, so 98, 99. So I've been a fan for a long time. And for Christmas one year, they sent me an autographed ball with the whole team. and one of Ryan Giggs's sweatbands he used to wear.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of how the United thing started. So he was my roots to United. So he's definitely one of my favorites. And like we talked about playing when you're, the fact that he played for so long as an outfield player is even more impressive, and stayed good. Could contribute.
He kept a degree of fitness that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Only seemed to get better over the years.
Yeah.
Kind of like Paul Scholes. I mean,
Yeah.
same type of thing, and a very potent combination between those two.
Yeah, exactly. And then goalkeeper, I'd have to say Van der Sar.
Oh yeah.
For
Okay.
United, he had the shutout record in Europe. He was incredible. Again, played till he was 41, and could have probably played another 3 or 4 years if he wanted to from how he played. But I just liked his goalkeeping style. It's a lot of goalkeeping people talk about is flashy now. Ederson, pinging these long balls, playing out of the back, but he was just a good, solid goalkeeper.
He was a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he just was. You just knew you were going to go against a bulldozer when you're coming up against the goal.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is going to be ad hocing on my part. Now, I am a Manchester United fan because the first team I ever saw play live football. I'm also a big Bayern Munich fan because I lived in Germany a long time. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Do you pick De Gea or Neuer?
De Gea.
Okay, I knew that I was setting myself up for failure here.
I was just on Twitter before this though, and now everybody's saying he's leaving on a free this summer, so we gotta.
Well, he's been saying, how many times has that happened, right?
Yeah.
Now Neuer, loyal, always, yeah.
He kind of started the whole crazy sweeper keeper thing. There were ones before him, but he kind of more made it mainstream.
He modernized it.
Yeah, which made our life harder. Before we could just stand and goal and save soccer balls.
You got to burn
do all
calorie.
that stuff.
It's true. Well, I knew I was going to set myself up for disappointment there, and I won't get mocked because of this. Rising Nation, Edward, the real Edward, had a question for you, and we don't usually take questions from our own people. We're going to do it this time. He says, and I'm quoting, "Do you like my memes? Am I funny? Tell me I'm funny. Tell me."
You're funny.
Don't feed the troll.
Was that the right answer?
You should have said, cancel your account. Rob Ashpole, who's very popular on Twitter, who are 3 other players you would have join yourself in the current version of Phoenix Rising for their yearly Mount Rushmore?
Huh.
And you could really go to 2018, because we're just new in this year.
Okay. You've got to put Drogba on there, right?
Yeah.
That's feel bad leaving him off. We can do last year.
Yep.
Cortez, all-time leading scorer for the franchise, isn't he? Longtime friend of mine, so I'll throw him up there. And then we'll go solo.
Okay.
I think that's pretty safe, It's a pretty safe group there.
I was hoping you'd kind of take it on the outside somewhere, but we'll work with that.
I'm a man of the people, Try to give people what they want.
And really, it's really unfair to ask to favorite, players like that, because you guys are all a team, and you guys are all bringing it. So.
But we've got a great group. Like you said, it's tough to choose.
And we're going to get to that in a minute too. Boone Brady, do you plan on keeping the beard in the summer, or is it exclusively a playoff thing, an early season thing?
I think it's my wife says she doesn't like it anymore.
Oh,
to be honest with you, the boss.
That's the priority.
So we grew it in the playoffs. Obviously, a bunch of us joked around with the playoff beard. Playoffs were a long run, so it got pretty long and scraggly, and I wasn't cleaning it up at all then. And after that, the wife was like, "All right, you got to do something about this." And I was like, "Yeah, the playoffs are over. I'll shave it off." She's like, "I kind of like it. We just need to clean it up a little bit." So that's the point we're at now.
Okay.
Obviously, I've never had a beard here in the summer. I know it's hot here in the summer.
It's gonna get itchy. It's gonna get itchy.
We'll see when we get there.
No bueno. Yeah. I mean, these two. Look at them, and they go through, but it turns into sweat ball of grime under their chins.
I can imagine. So we'll see when we get there.
All right. I like the answer. It's like with me. I'm getting mocked on Twitter because I used to have gray hair, and I'm trying to keep a relationship with a woman that lasts longer than the lifespan of a fruit fly. Yeah. And she really wanted me to color my hair, so I'm doing it. I live in my humiliation.
Yeah.
Anyways, Talk to me a little bit about your typical practice day, what a keeper goes through. And the reason I'm asking this is because keeper exercises have always fascinated me, the different types of things. We see what you do on the field. Are there any things you do off the field? Like, for instance, you've probably seen the videos where Peter Cech does juggling and stuff like that for quick hands. What kind of a practice day do you have?
So standard day, goalkeepers are always in early. So right now, the team trains at 10. Field players have to be in at 9, an hour before. Goalkeepers more or less will get in around 8, so kind of an hour before. Like I said before, just take care of your body. You know, stretch, foam roll, get treatment if we need, anything like that. And then we know, you know, Zach's older as well. So we know if we get in early, we can get in with our training staff, you know, if you need, you know, massage or treatment or anything like that. Goalkeepers will usually start half an hour before the field players. So we'll be out with our goalkeeper coach, Corey Robertson, on the field starting at 9:30. 9:10 or so, we'll get with our new strength coach, Steve Fell, and do some sort of, not overly taxing, but some sort of explosive movements to kind of get our fast twitch leg muscles going. What actually happens in training day by day varies a lot. You know, Corey does a good job of keeping us on our toes, changing exercises, because doing the same thing over and over for anybody really gets old quick.
Sure.
You know, especially for a goalkeeper, hitting the ground over and over and over, it gets old. So he does a great job with different drills to kind of keep us motivated. Like Wednesdays this year, we're doing smash ball or like spike ball, you know, with the trampoline.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we'll warm up for like 5 minutes. We'll pick. So it's me, Corey, Zach, and then BK, you know, our new goalkeeper. So we'll pick teams and play, you know, around the smash ball to get sweating and get going.
It's so fun too.
Yeah,
That is a blast.
And it is. I mean, we'll play with a full size. So we've got a bigger trampoline and a full soccer ball with our gloves on. So it is, you know, gets you into goalkeeping, hand-eye coordination, you know, getting your hands on the ball, things like that. So like Wednesdays we'll do that for fun to kind of get you started on the hump day.
Cool.
And then after a couple days a week we'll have film with Corey. So Mondays we'll spend about an hour and watch all the goalkeeper touches from the weekend, from the game. So we'll go over anything from, you know, back passes, playing out of the back, crosses, distribution, shot stopping, all that stuff with him. As a group, you know, it's a good time to discuss, you know, with the group, you know, what's happening, what we think, what we can do better, you know, if we could do something different, things like that. And then after, again, all the goalkeepers in the ice bath, you know, staying after a decent amount, you know, an hour or so to stretch extra, do things like that. So, you know, you train for maybe an hour and a half, but all in all, I think goalkeeper, we're in for about 6 hours a morning to afternoon.
That's a long day.
It's a pretty long shift, yeah.
Yeah. And then you eat a ton of food, I've seen after.
Yeah, and then
a lot of food.
Box does a great job catering, you know, our lunch after, which, you know, is amazing. You know, I think we're probably one of the first USL teams to bring that in, which I think, you know, Didier helped with a lot when he came, kind of set the professional standard of, you know, he's obviously played at some of the top clubs in the world, and he came here and really helped all the players out by, you know, telling ownership and the staff, you know, this is what it takes to play at the top level. If you want your players to be top professionals, this is what we need. So, you know, we get great meals after every training session, which is huge, you know, in the recovery.
And you're right, not every USL team gets that.
Yeah.
So, practice days are practice days. Game days, of course, a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Do you have any rituals, superstitions, or anything that you go through before the start of a game?
My big one on game day, even earlier in the day, I have to get a game day nap.
Okay.
That's my key to success. You know, anything else can go wrong on a game day, but I got to get my nap in.
Wow.
So that's my big one. And my wife knows. She'll, you know, go out with friends or leave me alone for, you know, the hour and a half. But that's my one big thing.
Okay, that's smart, because then you're sharp. You know, you wake up, boom, you're going. Any preference on your kit color? Do you feel like, oh, if I wear yellow, I know I'm going to be on fire, or, you know, green?
We haven't found one yet this year. Given up a lot of goals so far, unfortunately. You know. Last year though, we had the 3 kits. We had like a gray, the blue, and then like the bright orange. And we hated the bright orange. And then we started wearing the bright orange, and we're getting shutouts all the time. So that kind of became our favorite kit, from least favorite to favorite, whatever works. So this year we're working on it still. It's a work in progress.
But it's going to come, and let's talk about the current season. We know the team's frustrated. The fans are frustrated for the team, right? This last game that we had, we just couldn't get Lady Luck on our side. We hit the post over and over again. Our opponents had a couple of great shots. There's just no two ways about it. How are you all mentally coming together at practice to prepare for and just get that strength mentally to be able to go out there, forget what's going on in the past, and take care of business?
Yeah, I think you look at our performance from San Antonio to last weekend. It's a night and day difference. How far we've come, everything as a group, tactically, technically, individual players, as a team, everything. But yeah, we just didn't catch a break. In soccer, in any sport really, in anything, luck, plays a, sometimes you get bounces, sometimes you don't. And right now, through these first 3 games, it doesn't seem like we're getting a whole lot of those bounces, but it'll come around. I think we were all crushed after this last game, giving up a late goal, when we thought we had a win. It was heartbreaking, for all of us. I didn't sleep but maybe 2 hours that night. But Monday, I was very happy, and the coaching staff will tell you the exact same thing. Everybody came in fiery. We kind of all said we're sick of this. And this week of training has been by far the best and most competitive week of training we've had so far.
Super.
So I think that just kind of shows the resiliency we have as a group. Not only coming back from being down 7 times this year in 3 games, so I think that shows it as well. But yeah, just the way we all bounced back after such a low point from that last game, ready to fight and ready to turn things around.
We did get a bit of a reputation of being a come from behind team last year. We're kind of reinforcing that this year, but it does speak to mental resiliency. I think the fans all are completely confident that we're going to end up where we were last year, except we're going to take it up a notch. We just got it's the beginning of the year, so not a big deal. What I do like to see, especially from this team, the biggest issue I thought we had last year was mental toughness, and I'm not seeing that this year at all. And I like the fact, like when Solomon walked off the pitch on Saturday, I've never seen that man so angry in my life. I mean, he didn't talk to fans. He just went in, and I was like, good. That's what I want to see. Let's get pissed.
Yeah. So I think we're ready. We're ready to battle back and start getting some wins.
We're ready to support you, and related to supporting you. As you well know, we've got Red Fury and Los Bandidos down there, and their favorite pastime pregame is giving the keeper there as much hell as they possibly can.
Good,
right?
Good.
So the question then becomes, when you're the guy in the goal and you're standing in front of the SGs, how do you handle all that? Do you just ignore it? Does it affect you ever?
Yeah, I mean, I find it relatively easy to ignore at this point in my career. I've been through it plenty and have heard about anything you could have ever heard. But yeah, I think from this point, I think the most difficult part of it is communicating with your back line more than getting in my head mentally. It's hard when you've got, you're at big crowds, like even here, in front of our crowd, when I'm back there, they're cheering, but it's hard to communicate with your back line because they're loud. So I think that's really the biggest one. Or like you're at, say Sac Republic, where they built up, the huge backdrop behind the 1 goal. So when they're all cheering and yelling, it's hard to communicate with your back line. So I think that aspect of it for me is the harder part than mentally staying in it.
So communication is key, of course, and that's the easy part. I've always wondered, I played for a while, so I had some experience, but one of the more humorous things I find in games is how angry keepers get at the back line when a goal is scored, and they're just screaming at the back line. What are you saying to those guys when you're yelling at them? If you don't want to share, that's fine.
Are you bleeping this thing out?
Yeah. Actually, what I was going to do is I was going to make my own recordings of what I thought you would say, and then have you just go, no, that's not what I said, but I skipped it.
Yeah, it could be different things. Obviously, letting them know you're not happy with them. Even if it's not a goal, sometimes you make saves where something broke down. You have to come up with a big save and then let them know afterwards, why they got that shot off or what happened with that. But I think the other big part of it is praising defenders when they do well for you, that you don't see enough of, in my opinion. You know, goalkeepers are always quick to, you know, get on somebody or blame somebody, but, you know, if a center back comes sliding across and blocks a shot for you, you know, inside the 18, I think that's the time you got to run up to them, you know, give them a pat on the butt, you know, and tell them you appreciate them, you know, because that keeps, you know, people working for you.
Absolutely. And we do see that, you know, from time to time. I've seen you do that before. I was thinking of Lambert last year. Remember where Lambert came out? I forget who we were playing, but out of nowhere, stuck his 50-foot leg in front of the goal and saved a goal. And you ran up to him right afterwards and about gave him a bear hug.
You have to. You know, those guys work hard for you, so you got to, you know, keep them going.
Absolutely. Let's talk about keepers in general. My perception is that keepers are the tightest knit group in a footy team. What's the dynamic between yourself and Zach and BK this year? How do you guys work together? What creates that little dynamic for you guys?
Yeah, we actually just spent this morning talking about it for a minute or so with our goalkeeper coach. It's tough, you know, because obviously one guy's going to play, and going in as a goalkeeper, you know that. But you're also training together every day and having to push each other to improve, you know, as a whole group. So it's a very difficult dynamic, and I think it's for a select few, you know, because once you get that bad apple in that, you know, complains he's not playing, doesn't try in training, gives you bad service, that sort of thing, it all kind of goes downhill from there. So I think a big one with us is, you know, we're all really good people. You know, I'm pushing Zach, I'm pushing BK, BK's pushing me, he's pushing Zach, Zach's pushing both of us. So, you know, and we support each other. You know, I think it's almost more of a who you are as a person type thing, to be able to handle that and know there's going to be ups and downs, know one guy's going to play, one guy's not, know, you know, if you play bad, you might get replaced. And then you got to support that guy. So it's very tough, but, you know, I think we've got a good thing going here, and we've got 3, you know, very good goalkeepers. You know, me and Zach, you know, try our best to kind of help BK, kind of mentor him along, but also push him. You know, tell him he's a professional now, and, you know, it's got to be a certain standard. And he does the same with us. You know, he pushes us. He's not giving us easy service. He's, you know, giving us good, you know, driven balls, you know, to make us better. Cool. So it's you know, it's a whole different beast, you know, being a goalkeeper. But yeah, we've got an incredible group here, you know, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, I think BK is in a very unique position because he has 2 great guys kind of mentoring him. I can't even remember his name, that's how little I know about him, but your goalkeeper coach.
Yep, Corey Robertson.
Corey? Yep. Yeah, that's it, Corey. Corey, the dynamic with Corey is good. It seems like you guys have learned to adjust from game to game. The Sacramento game compared to what we had this past Saturday, there was different keeping style going on there. At least from what I see, my unpacked aside. Would you agree that you guys have been adjusting your keeping as you're going through the games?
Yeah, he does a great job of, we watch a lot of film, which I enjoy, you know, breaks down so like I said, Monday we'll recap the previous week, then immediately it's looking at the next team. You know, what do they do well? What do we need to do to stop that? So, you know, say it's a team that, you know, gets the ball wide and dumps cross after cross after cross in the box. A lot that week will be, you know, working on crosses. You know, what can we come win? What can we come pick out? If we don't come, we're dropped back on our line and people are finishing in front of us. So kind of getting ready for, you know, whatever that team has to offer. And I think he does a really, really good job of preparing us for the opponent for that upcoming week.
Your favorite save from 2018?
Favorite save from 2018? Yeah, that's a tough one.
I have one.
You have one for me?
I'll throw it out there.
Give it to me.
Stoppage time save at OC in the Western Championship game.
Yeah.
That was enormous, and it should have been save of the year in my opinion. Really?
Yeah.
It was a bullet. It was at the last minute. It could have completely flip-flopped the outcome of that game.
Yeah.
And you were like Superman.
Yeah.
You just went up there and handled that ball, right, with those big gloves on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was huge.
Yeah.
And That was the save of the year for me. It was great.
Yeah, that was a cool moment, knowing that kind of secured everything for us, that Western Conference final. I think off the top of my head, saving 2 penalties at Portland,
Yeah.
I think was the only time in my career I've ever done that. So
I forgot all about that.
That was a pretty cool one.
That's how good does it feel when you stop a PK?
Great. Yeah, so the first one I say they scored the rebound. That doesn't feel so good.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the last kick of the game. I saved it and held on to it. And I was kind of joking with the guys. I was holding onto the ball like this. They're not scoring on it because I'm not giving it up.
I'm keeping this ball.
Yeah, exactly.
How much prep do you do when it comes to studying PK takers?
I'm not telling. It's a secret.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a secret. Okay. Sorry. That's kind of a bad. It was off the cuff of my head. I was like, yeah.
I'll tell you later.
USL team in the Western Conference you love to hate?
I think OC is a great rival, and
That's what we say too.
Being the franchise that I started with, or even any franchise you used to play for, you always want to play well against. So I feel like I've put in a lot of good performances against them, so that's always fun.
Best newcomer to the Western Conference?
We haven't seen any, have we? New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see as we go. We've got El Paso, Albuquerque, there's a bunch of them here. Austin's back. That's always a fun city to go to, so we'll enjoy going to Austin.
I was going to ask you, is there a favorite team that you like to travel to?
The Northwest is nice. We last year or 2 years ago we had a long road trip up, Seattle, Portland, Vancouver used to be really fun. Obviously they're not in the league anymore. But yeah, I'd say up there. I like Seattle a lot.
It's a great city and it's cooler than here. So
Yeah,
that always helps too. That's all I've got.
Okay.
I really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
sorry for these guys. I mean, there's no excuse for these guys. It's really fun to talk to you. You're on the news. I mean, you're singing at Cubs games.
That was incredible. Shout out to everybody that made that happen. That is a dream come true.
I found that you can't mock Cubs fans because they'll just come at you. There's no messing around with that at all.
Yeah.
But what a fun experience. We wish you all the best this year. You're a man of steel. Oh, I do have one last question.
Yeah.
Everybody calls you the wonderful Wizard of Woz. Do you like that?
I love it.
Okay.
When it first started, it had a great ring to it. I enjoy it.
Okay. See, I like Wozilla.
Yeah.
I'm like.
I haven't heard that one yet. Is that just you?
I made it up. Nobody likes it but me.
I like that hashtag. Woz is my boy too.
Oh, that's these guys. Right
Oh, that's
there.
these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Crazy how that works out.
They're going to start jumping up and down, man. Don't encourage it. Anyways, good luck, best of luck for the year. We expect big things. I know it's going to happen. And hopefully we'll be able to circle back later in the season and touch base.
Awesome. Yeah. Just last thing, fans, stick with us. Like we talked about, it's coming around. It's gotten a ton better from the start of the year. And we're going to start putting 3 points on the board week in and week out and bring a title back to Phoenix.
There we go. You heard it here.